This is something I've been putting off for years now, and it just can't wait any longer. It's time I learned how to paint. Every time I sculpt, kit bash, or scratch build something for the channel, I inevitably dread getting to the painting phase. More times than I can count now, I've said things along the lines of, I'm not a painter, this isn't a painting tutorial, I don't enjoy painting, and all of this anxiety, all this trepidation has kept me from finishing a very important project. This beautiful sculpture was made for me as a going away present by my friend and fellow sculptor, Bawal. However, due to my own anxieties or intimidation around painting, I haven't touched it for almost a year. Well, this week we're going to change that. But before I can, I need to update my kit. These are my paintbrushes, or rather they were my paintbrushes. I've been using the same dollar store paintbrushes pretty much since I started the channel. They started out low quality, they've been poorly maintained, and they haven't had any love in a very long time. I'll hold on to them for things like applying glue to terrain and mixing up large batches of paint, but they won't be touching my models in the future. Now these are my new brushes. Say hi in the comments. The brand, not important. Sable, synthetic, doesn't matter. The important thing is that I'm going to look after this set. I'll clean them properly, I'll only put paint on them, no glue or anything else weird, and I'll make sure that they're looked after so I don't have to buy a new set anytime soon. New tools and fancy brushes won't make me a better painter. I have to reevaluate the way that I think about painting. But I know exactly what to do to get started. Whenever I start a new project for the channel, I have a spreadsheet that I work off of to track my progress, making sure I have everything planned from my B-roll to the crispy detail shots that I share over on Patreon. So I've started a new spreadsheet for painting to help me keep on track and remind me of the basics. This method seems to work for me, and hopefully it will keep me accountable going forward. Now the next step in this journey to get good is pretty easy but still necessary. My inspiration to focus on painting and improve my process is thanks to a few hobby acquaintances and friends. People like Dana Howell, Lila Mev, and Zambies. Each of them are amazing painters in their own right and have an amazing array of topics and specific techniques that you can learn from. Zambies is also a Twitch streamer, so you can sit down and learn from her in real time as she works. There are some links below to all of their respective channels, and I encourage you to check them out after finishing this video. But it's time I stopped talking and started painting. Now, there's a few areas on this print that need to be cleaned up before we can get started, but once I've done that, we'll get it primed, and then from there, I'm gonna do something that I've never done before, and that's test a color palette before committing to it. I now have a really strong idea of what this character looks like, and more importantly, a backstory for them. While I may be getting serious about my painting, I'm still more interested in creature design, character creation, world building, that sort of thing. So with that in mind, I hope you enjoy this brief story about the Cymbeline. On the Isles of Fasan, there is a gate. More appropriately, it is known by most as the Gate, a crumbling monolith of old world architecture and the last known portal to Estebal. Every once in a while, when curiosity gets the better of them, you'll find one or two of these colorful creatures known as the Cymbeline just having a little look around. Compared to the drab and worn-out colors of the Wraithwood, these little fey beings sport bright summer palettes. With flowers, leaves, and other plants growing on their head as hair, the small folk of Estebal stare in wonder at our strange home. The first thing they notice is that it is far too cold here. A small breeze in the air is enough to make the less bold of them spring right back into the portal. The next thing is that it feels slow, sluggish, positively still by comparison. Not just their surroundings, but the very nature of time itself. Things move on a celestial clock here in Sedalia in a way that they never could back in Estebal. If all of this still isn't enough to dissuade the explorer, and they still press forward, the last thing they notice is their magic. This change is more insidious as it takes time. When the Cymbeline cross from their realm to ours, the font, their source of magic, is cut off. For many of them, this isn't an issue. They poke their heads around, have a gander at what Sedalia has to offer, and decide their time would be better spent back home in the Cinder Plains where time makes less sense. And more importantly, there isn't a whisper of breeze to speak of. But they don't all go home. Some explore a little further afield. They meet some locals, indulge in a glass of moth whistle or three, but something keeps them away just too long. And when they find that they try to get back home, they are tethered here forevermore. That's why we always say, curiosity killed the Cymbeline. I can't promise that all my world-building stories won't be this grim, but in my defense, I only had the head to work with. The last thing I'm doing to update the way that I paint is actually varnishing my models once they're done, something that I've been admittedly just too lazy to do in the past. Now, I'd love to know if there's something that you feel like you could improve on with your painting or anything else that gives you a bit of anxiety with the hobby. Please do let me know in the comments, as I'd love to commiserate with you down there. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. But until next time, I love you, and I'll see you soon.